Hello, hi guys, welcome back to the Football Showdown channel. We are back with a new video, this time keep or sell, Arsenal edition. There has been a lot of unrest among the Arsenal fans. There has been a lot of sadness, some say even the lack of energy among fans with the transfer window coming in. And I thought it's only right to bring in a great guest who has appeared as a cameo on this channel if you have watched us on live streams. And it is only right that I record a full video with him because he is a great character. He is a great Arsenal personality, in my opinion, and has been doing a lot of collaborations with other people. So thank you so much in advance for giving your time for this small channel. Let's call upon our guest, Tripp. Full time
What's
Tripp. How are
going
you,
on?
man?
Hey man, what's going on? What's going on, man? Hey, ain't no small channel nowhere. You up and coming channel, all right? Up and coming. That's what we doing, man. We on the rise out here. But hey, we doing good, man. We on
Hmm.
vacation. We on vacation. We're enjoying our time off. The season is done, so I can like
Exactly.
rest my bones and everything. But
Uh,
of course, man, you gotta take some time out. You know what I'm saying? Have some
hmm,
fun conversations around the
hmm,
summertime.
hmm,
We should
hmm,
all be taking it easy. And this is just another instance of us doing all that. So I feel good and I'm happy to
hmm.
be on the channel, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good, good. That, like how you said, it is time to take off
Mm.
Arsenal, but at the same time, we're Arsenal fans. It is always running
It's
in
it's
Arsenal.
never gonna go off. I'm sorry, it's never gonna go off. I'm on vacation, but still, I'm going. I he again. You invited
Hmm,
me to do this. And I was like, yeah,
hmm,
man, I'm down to talk about Arsenal, and even though I'm supposed to be on vacation, but it's all right. Hey,
yeah,
listen, don't worry about it. This is all ideal state. It's just us talking.
hmm,
This has nothing to do with official transfer business.
hmm,
Don't
hmm,
worry. All right, we can get technical, and I'm still on vacation, but it's not gonna leave my system. I'm sorry. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's just in the blood. It's in the blood.
True, true, true.
Yeah.
If you had actually loved his energy, his socials are there on the in the description. His Twitter, his TikTok, his YouTube, and I will even link his Twitch. He's being humble that he doesn't do much, but I think with a lot of support, he will definitely do a lot more. Let's get into the video. Keep or sell Arsenal edition. Here we go. Right. Let's get into it straight away. The first player who made his name away from Arsenal, the first Estonian player to play in La Liga, Karl Hein. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, Carl Hein. I mean, only seen a few little instances of him.
Hmm,
Like we've entered this weird juncture with our keeper situation where we have a lot of wiggle room, so to speak,
hmm,
to kind of aim at a range of players for our second
hmm,
position or somebody who like could come in and fight or compete. Listen,
hmm.
I'm saying keep him because there's still a lot to grow. He's still how old is Buddy? He's like what in the 19, 20, 21, something like that.
23. 23.
23? 23? He's
Yeah,
still pretty young. He's still pretty young
yeah,
as a keeper. So
exactly.
I
Hmm.
wouldn't want to get rid necessarily. We have a whole host of keepers 18 range 18 to 23 that can
Hmm.
still have, a moment to prove themselves and blossom and stuff. So I am I'm in the mind of keeping him, but sending him on another loan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Makes
let's get
sense.
some room out there for something, you know?
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Because I think his highlight has been when he played against Real Madrid's Mbappe, and he was able
Mhm,
to sweep in and was able to stop. I think his first 10 to 12 games, he was really good. I
mhm,
think even people who saw his preseason games when he played for the Arsenal in the US,
mhm.
he stopped a lot of penalties, and they were like, "Oh, he should be a backup goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Raya
yeah,
can't save a penalty." So yeah, I would keep him as, but send him on like how you said.
yeah.
uh, the man who played one game and caused enough unrest. He almost got a penalty by trying to save something outside the box.
Bro.
Neto.
My life flashed before my eyes when that happened. I was like, why? What is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? Why was bro so far out from his goal? Like you not comfortable there, gang. Why was you playing like an outfield player? I think
Yeah.
he hadn't played in so long at that point that he just thought he was
Hmm,
an outfield player. He just thought he was playing
hmm,
center back or something like that. Like he thought it was a training
hmm.
drill. He just like trying to build out. Completely
Right.
wrong state of mind.
Hmm,
Immediate sell. Go back to wherever we found you, bro. Listen, that we appreciate your work experience, but
hmm,
that's all we need, bro. That's all we need.
hmm,
Like, that's
hmm,
it. We're good.
hmm. Fair enough. Someone along the similar lines. Raheem Sterling.
Listen, I don't I don't want to be my man at the top of this whole thing said you're about to get the best of me. Still waiting. Still waiting to this day to see the best of him. I,
Uh,
I'm, I'm where was it?
Hmm.
Listen, the best of him was him signing his son to an academy player deal and then moving on to the next thing. That's how he fulfilled the promise.
Yeah.
I see the mind games. The mind games is at play. But listen,
Hmm.
I as somebody of a Jamaican background, I cannot
Uh,
100% slander Raheem Sterling. I can't do it. It's a Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, Jamaican descent player playing for the
hmm.
Arsenal. I
Hmm.
got some love for it. But
Hmm.
the other 99% of me that's an Arsenal fan can absolutely slander that. I am so saddened by the waste of funds and time this whole
Hmm.
transfer was, bro. Again, over his career, got respect for Raheem as a player, but at this point,
Hmm.
he's just washed, bro. It's washed, and it
Hmm.
was an absolute waste of time.
Hmm.
Thank goodness. I don't even have to make a decision on this. He's already back at Chelsea. So, double sell, buy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing of
Fair.
value was lost in this instance. I'm sorry, gang. It's just
Yeah.
that's just how it rolls.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm.
Uh, Nuno Tavares, a player who has had a very I don't when he was at Arsenal, it felt like we got a new Hector Bellerin. But when he went back to France, was it France? No, sorry, he went to Italy.
Yep.
Yeah, when he went to Italy, he had a decent 12-game period where he was scoring or assisting, and then again he's gone
Mm-hmm.
like the dust, right?
Yeah.
We've sold him, I know, but would you have kept him though?
No. I would have I would have I would have sold out. I would have got that sell on fee ASAP
Hmm,
immediately. Listen,
hmm,
I'll say this though.
hmm,
He is one of the most athletic players I've seen in a very long time. I think he
hmm,
fits one of those upper echelons of athleticism that really he could have. He
hmm,
had the potential to be a very, very good Premier League player from an athletic standpoint, but it's
hmm.
just the footballing IQ and the decision
Oh
making
yeah.
standpoint that consistently got him in trouble. And in
Hmm,
Serie A, you can get away
hmm,
with that. You can just bomb and be a left winger and just do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? There's
hmm,
more wiggle
hmm,
room for you to do that. And there's not as
hmm.
many athletes in Serie A, so he can ball out fairs.
Right.
But in the Prem, when there's so many things that you have to be aware of from a physical standpoint, when there's many
Hmm,
people equaling you, and
hmm,
from an IQ standpoint, there's going to be a lot of smart footballers who know what to
hmm,
do, game plans. You
hmm.
cannot afford to make a mistake. And every time I see his name, I just think about that little run he did. He won the ball against Liverpool at Anfield, did two couple steps. Wonderful. I thought he was, he's breaking out. He's going to make a run. Passes straight back to Jota. Straight back to
Uh-huh.
Jota. He rounds Ramsdale. It's a goal. And I'm like,
Uh,
yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. We'll take the sell on fee though. We'll take the sell on fee. Sell.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The player who we signed instead of Kvaratskhelia, Marquinhos.
I said this. I said this in another another thing.
Hmm.
Another what was it,
Channel.
episode I
Yeah.
was on, man. Shout out to the Wafflenomic squad as well, bro. But
Hmm.
this was a wonderful study abroad experience for the kid. I hope he had a very good time studying abroad. I hope he saw the
Uh,
sights out there. I hope he saw the London Eye. I hope the
hmm,
classes weren't too rough for him. But yeah, now it's time to settle on back home, brother. There
hmm,
was. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can, but let me just say this
hmm,
in vague terms, and I say this pretty frequently.
hmm.
A certain someone's grills need to be flipped at every early convenience. I just want to let that be known. Like,
Hmm.
just like take the air out of one wheel on the grill and make sure it's lopsided when that person rolls it out. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying
Hmm.
anybody specifically, but for making this deal happen for
Hmm.
absolutely no reason,
Hmm. Hmm.
some grills got to go. Grills
Right.
got to go. Sell.
Fair enough. Sambi Lokonga, a player, company was like he's the next best thing and
Yeah.
all that, but yeah, well, we've never
And
got that version.
and this is so tough because I honestly I really do like Sambi Lakanga. I think
Right?
that
Yeah.
again when he was with us,
Hmm.
what really shone on him was his on the ball quality. I think him as an 8 with again picking passes and being
Hmm.
pretty aware of certain spacing. I thought he was very good in that position. I thought he had a lot of potential in that position, in my
Right.
opinion. But what
Hmm.
failed him was some decision making things, but mostly it was the physical side of the game that really got him like stuck. I don't think he could really pull the
Hmm.
physical demands that the midfield of Arsenal required. I think he got
Right.
a lot of great experience at Luton
Hmm.
where he was able to, but then injuries kind of tripped him up and he was kind of in
Hmm.
this limbo period. I
Right.
have, and I still do have high hopes for him, but I
Hmm.
think at this point I'm on the borderline 55,
Hmm.
45. I
Hmm.
think we just sell him on. I think we just sell him
Hmm.
on. I think, especially in this juncture, and we'll get to other signings that relate to this,
Hmm.
we have to make sure we're stocked up in that midfield in the right way. And I can't,
Right.
I wouldn't want to risk it with certain people staying. So
Hmm.
sell.
Hmm.
I like him though.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think his highlight moment came. I think that was a match that you even went to, right, in Florida.
Yep. Yep. That
Yeah.
preseason game, literally the
Yeah.
preseason game.
Exactly. That goal where nobody expected him to be in that position. I was like, okay, finally we're seeing this vision where he can play in that position. And yeah, we never saw
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it is what
Like
it is.
again, he was deployable at the 6 and the 8, bro. You saw more
Hmm.
kind of like the 8ish and stuff like that. But again,
Eight.
it's just the physical demands that
Hmm.
didn't that I wanted him to see again be that replacement for Partey or be in that line with that physical demands, but it
Right.
didn't show up. So he's kind of
Hmm.
forced to be in that 8 role, and it
Hmm.
didn't work out. And it just is what it is. But as a player, as a potential I see in him, I think there's
Hmm.
something that he can salvage. Just probably not with us.
True. True. I agree with that. Next person, Katie, the man who was there from the start and had to be
Yeah.
let go because of his certain issues.
Yeah, he's automatically in the sell category because he's
Hmm.
actually is going to Celtic.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
what a servant, man! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In some of our periods of reformation
Hmm.
and trying to
Hmm.
get to the best version of ourselves and get to the competitive side of Arsenal again, this guy
Right.
was one of the people that stood out in dark times, dark
Hmm.
days. Like this guy
Hmm.
was there through injury, through sickness, through all that stuff. He showed up and he gave his best. And listen, I need to take a pilgrimage to Scotland and just make
Hmm.
sure that they know how much I appreciate that man. I need to go to a Celtic match with his jersey on or something like that, just to show love.
Hmm.
I he's my number one like favorite Scotsman of all time. I'm sorry, like William
Yeah.
Wallace and everybody step aside. I'm sorry, like
Hmm.
all these other characters. Nah, this is my
Hmm.
number one Scotsman of all time. And
Hmm.
listen, the West Brom goal in the snow will always stick with me for to the
For
end of
sure.
time, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen. I will say though, as we sell him, one
Hmm.
thing that we so need to find out, and this is where I'm gonna be like, I'm not talking about transfers all the way. I'm not talking about all the way, but but when he goes, a lot of lethal crossing ability goes with him.
Hmm.
And we need somebody who's going to be a direct threat from
Hmm.
that left-hand side in terms of elite crossing and
Hmm.
bombing runs. I think
Hmm.
the squad is overdue for a replenish in that way.
Hmm.
And I think honestly, pound for pound, he is like a top 4, top 3 best crosser in the team until he was
Hmm.
gone. You know what I mean? In my
Right.
opinion,
Right.
I think he
Right.
was very much up there. So yeah,
Hmm.
KT will be missed. He'll be missed.
For sure. For sure. I mean, in the end, even when he was playing as a right wing, his crosses into the box were lethal.
Still lethal. And
Exactly.
it's just so hard to come by. Again,
Hmm.
if the injuries just killed him
Hmm.
so much. But if he didn't have those, I think
Hmm.
he'd still be in the squad. I'd keep him personally just because his profile is so different to everybody else that we have
Hmm. Hmm.
over the past few seasons. So,
Yep.
all the best to KT.
Yeah. All the best to him. A person who was not really someone who we really wanted at that age, Jorginho, been an
Hmm.
integral figure in that 23-24 season with Declan Rice. But
Hmm.
I know he's been sold. But would you have kept him for another season if there was a chance?
This is the tough thing. Yes. Yeah.
Definitely. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for several overarching reasons, what
Hmm.
I'm saying, that interconnect with one another. But
Hmm.
I would have kept Jorginho. I think his experience is just the only major downside at this point is he
Hmm.
just does not have the legs to run major minutes anymore.
Right.
But it would be a tightrope that they would have to walk to make sure he has the succession plan in place with the midfielders
Hmm.
that would come in to be
Hmm.
around him and be like, hey, listen, I'm not going to show up for a lot of minutes. I might show up for like 10 minutes, for like a couple of games in a season because my legs are so
Hmm.
gone. But,
Hmm.
but those minutes are going to be vital. And I think Jorginho as a leader, as
Hmm.
a figurehead for transmitting ideals and just being that a senior presence in the squad,
Hmm.
he's one of the best leaders I think you could possibly have in European football over the past few years. So
Hmm.
again, I've talked plenty of crap about him when he was at Chelsea. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mainly over his athletic ability, and that's fair.
Uh-huh.
But you
Yeah.
got to be honest and recognize how much of a talented footballer he is, how smart of a
Hmm.
footballer he is, and
Hmm.
what he can do on his day. And we've seen
Hmm.
that plenty on his day.
Hmm.
Again,
Hmm.
the go ahead goal against Aston Villa. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Performances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Performances. I think he played. I think he had like a damn near man of match performance at Newcastle or something like that. Like we were scared
Hmm.
to go to
Hmm.
SJP with him in midfield,
Hmm.
but then he bossed it. And like there's so
Yeah.
many instances where he stepped up for 12
mm,
million. He stepped up in a lot of great moments and really endeared himself with the fans. I think he became an underrated favorite for a
mm,
lot of people just
mm.
because of his level of commitment. So it's a
True.
sell, but
Mm,
I'll miss him, man. I'll miss him, man.
mm.
Shout out to Popeye, man. He got that.
For sure, for sure. And even as a, you could say, I mean, these days at this point, every person at the touchline is a manager, right? And some say
Hmm.
that this guy could be potentially a manager for the Arsenal.
Oh,
We've
100%.
Yeah,
I
we've seen
listen,
him
that
doing that against Madrid. Remember,
he
he
got
was
his
there at the
coaching
touch.
matches.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Literally. Hey man, again, he
Mm,
was well, Arteta was up here.
mm,
This man was all the way down on the corner flag, just like, hey, listen, just giving signals and stuff like that. So he's prepped. He's prepped. And listen, if that little stint of time was enough
uh,
to convince him, which is I
mm,
think one of the most intelligent minds as a footballer we've seen in the past few years, to
right.
become a manager for us down the line. Hey,
Mm,
listen, I'll take that.
mm,
That's a good exchange.
for sure. Yeah. Obviously. Jesus. Some want
Yeah,
him
man.
gone because of his injury issues. I want him to be there as an option, but
Mhm.
if possible for reduced wages. Obviously, that can't be happen because it's part of a contract. But would you keep him or sell him because of his injury issues?
Um, Well, one, because of the injury, but two, most importantly for me, when
Hmm,
he is fit again, which seems to be like the beginning of next year or something like that, close to the end of this year, maybe another
hmm,
9 month stint. Who knows what condition he's going to be in? But
hmm,
that is an option we have to bolster our firepower even more when we get there. I don't want to say the phrase like a new signing, but it is
hmm,
somewhere around the ballpark of we're getting some firepower back in our ranks, and that could be
hmm,
helpful when
hmm,
we're going through a heavy ass season, hopefully
hmm,
still in all competitions at that point, and there's
hmm,
a lot of wear and tear in the squad that he can help
hmm,
alleviate. So I'm going to
hmm.
say keep because
Good.
I don't think
Hmm,
anybody's going to buy him injured anyways,
hmm,
and in my heart of hearts, he's one of those players I mean that we can help at this stage. That's still at the
hmm,
club that I really
hmm,
want him to win things here. I want him
hmm,
to win something major here because
hmm,
he's somebody again that people like to slate him and stuff. They call him all the slander names, the
hmm,
BCM punk and all that stuff like
hmm,
that. But
hmm,
people got to face the facts. This guy transformed us when he came in.
hmm, hmm,
People could have argued over this person or that person, but when he came in, he made us realize, oh, we can be a serious team again.
hmm,
That first challenge was him leading
hmm,
that line for a good parts of the season, saying, hey,
hmm,
oh, he's that guy. Just galvanized the
hmm,
team, created so much dynamism and impact in the team. That will not be forgotten. And the injuries has just shown how much he's missed, how much
hmm,
he has missed in this squad, the dynamic of players, where we would have
hmm,
been if he was healthy throughout. Again,
hmm, hmm.
this past January, he was banging goals against Crystal Palace and he injured himself again. So like
Yeah, yeah.
we could have been in a completely different spot if Gabriel
Hmm,
Jesus was healthy. And
hmm,
I want to see him win with us. I want to see him win with us, and I want to see where he's at post again another ACL. This could be his last run with us for this entire like next season. But
true.
hopefully it ends on a bang,
Hmm.
in my opinion. In my hopes.
Yeah, yeah. The person, like how you mentioned, a person who has transformed our team in terms of attacking front and the way we play is another person, Zinchenko.
Hmm.
Would you want to keep him or would you want to sell him?
This is this is a different one because I feel like because of the emergence of other players in the squad who will definitely get to,
Hmm,
um, I feel like his only valid option at this point is to be an kind of a tool in midfield, kind of like a
hmm,
pure tools in 8 at this point because I don't think I mean they might run him at left back, but I just
hmm,
don't I in certain situations now where there are so many dynamic physical players that will attack that side when he's on.
hmm, hmm,
Uh I'm in the mind because the position's been filled by another player who we'll mention in a little bit.
hmm, hmm,
I'm like 52-48 sell. I'm 52-48 sell. It's close. I feel like it could
hmm,
teeter next week, but
hmm,
with the incomings that we might have, I
hmm.
think it's hard for me to justify where he's at. If he was like
So all these incomings that you're talking about, what are these incomings that you're talking about? Is there some transfers that you
no,
want to
no, 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 no.
mention?
Oh, sorry, my fault, bro. My fault, my fault. I don't even mean. Yeah, let me not talk about transfer. I'm sorry. The arrivals of certain people in the current squad from this season. Like we'll get to Miles Lewis Skelly and stuff like that. We'll get to Calafiori, who was here, who's injured a bit, but still has
Hmm,
two left
hmm,
backs already. And you'll have
hmm,
people like a Kivior that can fit in there and stuff like that, who are physically more up for the challenge in that spot. And I feel like it's a tough trade-off because the technical level needs to be improved, and he's somebody that absolutely raises our technical level.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's also that physical challenge of like, damn, how much does he really have to really contribute to that consistently? Like, we're gonna need players who have both. And Miles Skelly, in my opinion, is both. Calafiori, to a lesser extent, still is both. And that's what level. Again, his technical level is out the roof, but the physical level is so low that I don't know if I can justify him in that position when we have other players who have a better mixture for being ready made for the field right now, in my opinion.
Let's talk about Calafiori.
Automatic keep. And listen, I need to start a full like Calafiori defense brigade because I get it. I understand injuries suck, and I am mad that injuries have ridden this squad as much as it did. Like, it's riddled rather this squad as much as it did. But this guy's an absolute stud, and people do not realize the level of X factor that this guy has, bro. If the goal against City in his first couple of games in the team didn't inform you fully, if the Euros before he even signed didn't inform you fully, if the Wolves goal didn't inform you fully, you should have some inkling of understanding how much this guy can transform the attack and create so many new levels of dynamics. Again, just his willingness to run forward, to carry with the ball, like just that level of bravery and athleticism and just endeavor. Again, it's just balls. It's just balls from an attacking standpoint, and we need that. That is what we need in a team that is very much measured in how they attack. Let me word that correctly. They're very measured in how they approach the attack. There's not too many mavericks who can create their own luck and create situations. He is one of the people that does that for us. Absolute keep. Watch when he's fit. A lot of people are going to eat their words.
For sure, yeah. When he played against PSG in those last few minutes, I was like, if only he played a lot of those minutes in the start side, would have been so a lot of different. Yeah.
If he's off, I wish he was just a week fit, a week sooner fit, and we would have been it could have been a different conversation.
Exactly. Tomiyasu.
Speaking of injuries, I ain't seen this boy since, oh my gosh, I don't even know when. Oh my goodness, where our kits all yellowish and stuff since we last seen, brother? Oh my gosh, the away kit, the yellow away kit with the radio waves and stuff. Oh my gosh, Tomiyasu. He's such an underrated player, but the level of injuries has cooked him so much. It's so hard. At this point, I think we have to keep him because of the injuries that he's not going to be able to be sold. Right. But this is my last chance with Tomiyasu at this point. We haven't even had an injury update on Buddy. All I know is I'm saying this. If I do not see him by the start of this preseason, I've given up hope. I've given up hope on Tomiyasu. I love him. I think on his day, he epitomizes what versatility means in this side. Right. He epitomizes what Arteta wants and what the team wants in terms of versatility. Can play across the entire black line, can 1v1 defend, can bomb forward and have a little moments here and there. Can, again, a pretty decent passer range, you ask me. I really believe in the potential of Tomiyasu, but there's only so much potential that we can start banking on until stuff actually really comes through. So keep. But this is his last chance. If he don't show up to training, if he don't show up to preseason, if he is Casper the Friendly Ghost at preseason, it's over. I'm sorry.
I don't think he'll be there for preseason. He'll be coming back only in the month of December because of his injury.
December?
Yeah.
What was his injury? Did he get he injured his whole body head to toe?
I think it was his knee, if I'm not wrong. It was his exact knee.
Was it knee, Achilles? Like it went to two different places. I swear.
Okay, I remember it being the knees.
I don't even know.
It being knee.
Yeah. I don't even know anymore. That's the thing. I don't even know anymore. I've lost track of what exactly the injuries are with him. I'm just like, when you don't finish a race in a video game or something like that, it's just like DNF did not finish. That's just my status on him. Just DNF. just
yeah.
I don't know. Makes sense. He's somewhere out there in the ether. We hope he comes back soon.
MLS.
Miles Lewis Skelly. Oh, if we don't lock down a new deal with this boy in the next like 8 to 12 months, I will riot. Keep, Omega keep, ultra keep. I
But
keep so much. He
mm,
might be a GK, a keeper. Like I might say his new position is a keeper. Like, yo, like he's absolute breakout season. What
mm,
do you want me to say? This guy
mm,
has bossed almost every stage in every competition he has been a part of. Again, outstanding
mm,
performances in the Prem, the
mm,
Champions League,
mm,
just so many crazy matchups that he's had to stand against. Again, making
mm,
making people like Desiree Doué, who showed out in the Champions League final, look mad regular
mm,
against him.
mm,
The Carfax is there if you want to see it. Like
mm,
Miles Lewis Skelly is that combination of technicality, of
mm,
physicality, and
mm,
mentality that we
mm,
want to see in a player.
mm,
18 years old, and he has just strutted into this team and made that position his own.
mm,
I I am scared and also incredibly excited for the potential that this guy is going to realize because I think he has every tool necessary to
mm,
become a world-class player. It is
mm.
without question for me.
Good. Even Madrid were trying to get him, if I'm not wrong.
Mm. This
Another acad, yeah,
mm.
quite. Another academy player, Ethan Venere.
Also Omega keep. Now again, obviously, it might not be to the same full extent as MLS, but there's only
Mm,
one difference between them two that I think is
mm,
going to be addressed in the summer. And it actually, I think, has actively been addressed. Ethan Neri
mm,
burst onto the scene again, the 15-year-old, again, youngest Prem appearance in history.
mm,
I think his ability to just be such a live wire, an
mm,
energizer bunny,
mm,
create separate. I think he might be the best space separator. Like he creates
mm,
separation on the ball, probably
mm,
better than anybody else on the team right now. I can probably say that with a fair bit of confidence. Out of
mm,
everybody, this kid can create space and separation on the ball in the final third better than anybody else right now in the squad, without
yeah,
question. His
yeah,
attacking, his tenacity, that
mm,
level of finish, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like so many great signs, and we got an
mm,
absolute gem on our hands. The only
mm.
difference between him and MLS, the physicality levels. That's the
Physicality,
only
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And again, a lot of that for me has been down to the deficiencies that we had in numbers in the attack.
Mm,
You know what
mm,
I'm saying? So he's been
mm,
thrust into that role when Saka was out and people were out, and he ran himself pretty ragged. And this is his
mm,
first
mm.
time getting Prem minutes like
Yeah,
consistently. And
yeah.
he ran into a hamstring issue. Then he came
Mm,
back, and then like we were like,
mm,
okay, we bench him for a little bit. I think
mm,
now he's on a program to get stronger
mm.
in the league and also
Preseason,
build
yeah.
more endurance for
Mm,
that stuff. I think
mm,
MLS is just a physical freak. He's an absolute monster. He came
true.
in ready made. Like
Mm,
he swallowed 10 sensu beans and did the one punch man routine for like weeks before he even entered the league. I don't understand how MLS did it, but Ethan Waneri needs a little bit more time to cook under that physically. But
mm,
everything else he is absolutely he has in spades. And so I think
mm,
he'll bang just as much. It's just going to take a
mm.
little bit of time for the physical side to form, but 100% keep. No worries.
Makes sense. Fabio Vieira.
Ah, damn. This I okay. Okay. This is where my agendas come into play. I don't have many agendas, all right? I don't.
Uh,
Especially when
uh,
it comes to Arsenal. I like to keep
mm,
things pretty open because I just want Arsenal to be Arsenal. I want Arsenal to do the best that they can and win.
mm,
That's
mm,
where I'm at. So there's many
mm,
routes to cut the cake. If it gets the cake cut, I'm with
mm,
it.
mm,
However,
mm,
I have wanted this guy to really, really cook
mm,
from minute one when he jumped in.
mm,
I think I think he's a light version, again, a light version of Bruno Fernandes in a sense of his final ball can be
mm,
so devastating. Like we've seen it before when his previous stints at Porto. We've seen it when
mm,
he was on loan this season at Porto. We saw it in
mm,
few things. He's just a final third demon, in my opinion. And it's a
mm,
demon in waiting that we haven't fully seen yet at Arsenal,
mm,
especially with how I don't know. Not going to go into details about the summer transfer dealings, but
mhm, mhm,
things are up in the air as it stands with midfield configuration and the depth that we
mm,
need to combat all competitions next season.
mm,
I'm saying let's keep him. I'm saying let's keep him, especially on the fact that investment maybe would be
mm,
going a lot towards attacking signings. I would hope. I would
mm,
hope. I'm not
mm,
looking at them reports. I'm not staring at any of them shits. Ornthing, keep it to yourself. But I would hope that we're investing a lot towards our attacking signings, and this might be an opening for him to actually show what he can do and be a contributing factor, in a rotation between him, Odegaard, Ethan, and maybe even some Max Down minutes. So I'm hoping to see him in the rotation. I'm hoping he gets a chance to prove himself because I believe in the ability and what he can bring, especially from an attacking standpoint.
There's a lot of hope for Arsenal. We'll have to see in reality what's there.
It's the hope that kills, man. It's the hope that kills, but I'm a hope anyways, man. It's too late.
Yeah. Trossard.
Oh, this is tough. This is a tough one. People have been split down the middle about this even before the season was over. They were talking about again between him and another player we'll definitely mention as well. But my decision will be pretty clear after this one. Trossard, insane value for money as well. 27 million from Brighton, came in to be a consistent final third, just absolute stalwart. I think, in my opinion, again, isn't always perfect. Isn't always the best that we would want out of him, but he comes up clutch in so many great moments. And I think his attacking quality, I think he is probably one of the most inventive, if not I'd say probably top 2 or 3 most inventive forwards we have at the club. I'd say probably behind Saka, he's definitely there. Anne Hathaway, look away. I want to say sell. Damn. Okay. And the reason I say sell is because it seems that we're at like a standstill in his contract. I think he might have like a year left or something like that. And especially with how we might need to hopefully invest in the attack, I hope things are matching, my words out there. What I'm saying? I'm on vacation. But I hope that investment in attack realizes, it gets brings up a reevaluation of where we're at and needing to revamp that attack. And if there's room to sell Trossard, I think that is an opportunity that we should take and open up some room, especially on the wings, to get some firepower in that is more physically capable than Trossard is. I think technically, I think he's good. I think he's really good, damn good on his day. But there are some instances in games where, he'll have to drop in and he'll have to play a little bit deeper in the midfield. And sometimes his technical level gets really sloppy. He'll get many loose touches, many loose passes, and it just isn't what we need. I think he's a great impact player off the bench, but I don't think that's something that he might want to be relegated to in a sense. And I don't think the entire demands of, the club would... I don't know. I don't know if that would be there for him. I don't know if it would be it for him. So I think for now, I'm going to say sell. In an ideal world, we keep our attackers and we just add 2 more on top of that. Like, I would love to add 2 wingers on top of Trossard and Martinelli and just say, hey, we got depth. Y'all can just play across there for whatever competition y'all need. Y'all can fight it out. Cool. But I know in my heart of hearts, Arsenal are not going to bring in people without possibly selling one person in that range. And unfortunately, I would say Trossard would be that one.
So since you said you're selling Trossard, does that mean you want to keep Martinelli? Because that's the next player that I want to talk about.
Yes, I would want to keep Martinelli. And I know this is the point of contention. People might be in the comments trying to kill me and stuff like that. But it's all right, y'all. It's all right. Everybody's going to have their difference of opinion on this. My personal opinion is I got love for Martinelli, man.
A lot of love.
Again,
Yeah, me too.
A lot of love. So much so that I can tell you, I don't want to leave him the way he is. He has not been on his job. He has not done the business that he is supposed to be doing. He's not at the level that I expected. I don't. Let me say this, and I've said this before as well. With him and Bukayo Saka coming in at the same time and bursting onto the scene, I didn't expect him to become a world-class player, overnight, but I expected him to learn and develop his game at a similar ballpark rate to Bukayo Saka. Learn and expand your game. How Bukayo Saka learned how to deal with double teams and learned how to cross and learn how to cut inside and finish on his right foot. So many things that he kept adding to his arsenal season over season. I expected that rate of learning generally with Martinelli. If he was
mm,
so good at instinctive finishing and being in the box, and then we moved him out to the wing to give him even more space, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's a great opportunity for him to understand how to use his pace, understand how to use his physicality, get past players, become more inventive in the final third, build that acumen as an inventive winger, and create that chaos. We have not seen a damn thing about that. I tell you that. We ain't seen nothing about that. I've been seeing PS2 glitches on the wing for like how many months now, and I'm tired. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. But even still, the work rate that this man puts into this team, the physical levels, it's very hard to replicate. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that shit. They just want to hear the final third, the glitz and the glam, goals, you know what I'm saying, galore and everything. But the work that he puts in is so vital to how we play, so vital to how a lot of top teams play. If you saw Ousmane Dembele in the Champions League final, you'd know. And you probably would stop cussing Arsenal for doing the same exact things the top teams who win Champions Leagues do. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Blank shots to whoever. Only hit dollars holler. That's all I'm going to say. But the work that he does is vital. And I still think there were glimpses, there were little moments this past season where like, oh, that's the Martinelli I wanted to see. There he is. I personally think, even though he's had a rough go of it the last couple games of the season, I still think there's room for him as a backup center forward and maybe some backup winger shifts. I still think there's a job that he can absolutely do as a center forward, as center forward depth, in my opinion. I think me personally, I see him with those instinctive finishes that he came in with. Those again, like just being that fox in the box. I see him as a more athletic version of Diogo Jota. I really do. I think he can achieve that level. He just needs to hone in on that finishing. And I think, I think again, in my view, there are like gears and there are cogs. You know, to make the whole machine work, there are the gears that make things tick, and then the cogs that react to that stuff in the end. I think he can be incredibly effective as a cog, somebody that reacts to it. There'll be that fox in the box. I think us versus, was it PSV or Porto this season in the Champions League? I think it was some first goal that he scored. It was like the first goal was a ball that came right across the box and slanted, and he slid it home far post. He was in the right place at the right time. It might have been
Sporting.
Thank you. Wrong Portuguese team. Sporting. The first goal against Sporting in the Champions League. That one, again, Saka cut it across. He was right there, instinctive finish, right place, right time there. I think he can be that instinctive finisher. And I think he deserves some more time to develop centrally in the box. And especially if you have a dynamic winger that can like interchange and do that again, like Gabriel Jesus did for him. I think that only enables him to get more of that time. And I think that's something that we're trending towards as well as a team, just giving our wingers more central access, which we saw some of those tweaks and changes at the end of the season that Arteta was making, just experimenting with. So I'm going to give him another shot, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If a bid, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about transfers, but hypothetically, you know what I'm saying? Hypothetically, if a bid comes in that's crazy, it's crazy money and he's gone, I'm like, damn, that sucks. I'm not gonna be mad. It's not gonna be the end of the world for me. I will be a little bit sore. I'm like, damn, I want to see him win with us. But in my ideal world, I still think he has something to give for this team, and I want to see him win, bro. This guy's given blood, sweat, tears, and he's been one of these people that's been there for a long time. So I want to see him with us winning.
Next player, let's talk about Ben White. Let's finish off the defenders and then we'll get to the attackers. Ben White.
Benny Blanco, man, keep. Absolute warrior. There's not much to be said about this, man. Like absolute warrior. We know what he can do across the pitch, especially in the final third. Getting back to his full fitness, we saw some of those glimpses again. It's just an unfortunate time because when the season before, when White was grinding himself into dust, a player that you'll mention in a little bit tore his ACL. And then when he's out, when Ben White's out, the person that tore his ACL is having a bang-up season, but also grinding himself into dust. So hopefully next season we'll have both of them in the mix and really, really see what they can do once they have rotations, rest, a little bit of respite just from the attrition of a season. He's still got a lot to give. Easy.
Timber, automatic keep.
Put him in the top row. Put him in the top row.
Saliba?
Put him in the top row. If we don't lock down a new deal for Saliba, I'm telling you right now, Andrea Berta, you have a job to do. We'll get to one of these players in just a second, but you have a job to do. Not only, I'm not even talking about transfers, bro. New signings, again, on vacation, but renewals, I can talk about all damn day. You better lock down these key player contracts, because people, they sniffing around, man. Madrid sniffing around. We need to lock in. Madrid was trying to tap up MLS to see what's good with him. They're trying to look at Saliba, see what's going on. Lock that down now.
Magalhaes has been locked down.
Already kept. And that's what I'm talking about. Good business, baby. This is somebody, I said it before online, the outside of Bukayo Saka, the heart and soul of this Arsenal team. There is very few players that represent all the ideals of what we've transformed ourselves back into in terms of a competitive side. The heart, the grit, the never say die attitude, just the improvement, the steady levels of versatility and growth that is in there. Colossus. Nobody else I would rather have to lead, our back line than him. So love it.
Yeah. A player who has stepped up in recent times, Vieira.
Now this is an interesting conversation. This is honestly, I'm going to be very serious here. I was thinking about this before we came into this recording, because I'm like, yo, people are calling for, maybe we can get somebody else here and and then look in, but with the job he's done, I can't say anything less but keep personally. I was in the camp of selling beforehand in the first, for the last few weeks. I'm like, listen, if he's going back to Serie A, we get a nice little 50 million pound fee and we call it a day. But with how unsure I am about how the back line will look in terms of fitness physically, this guy has shown up and been a constant in the back half of the season. And as a fan who has seen people like Rob Holding, you know what I'm saying, and people of that ilk, post ACL Rob Holding and people of that ilk play center back for the Arsenal, seeing this guy step up was an absolute joy to watch. Again, he's not the perfect footballer. We know he has clear flaws, and that's fair. But even despite that, he's done so well to rise to the level that it requires that level of physicality. I think out of the back line, I think he might have the best passing range, in my opinion. Like it's very debatable, but I think he has the best passing range out of our defenders. You know what I'm saying? I think it's definitely up there. Center backs, I think for sure. But what he's done to step up into this position when Gabriel tore his hamstring out for the season, and we need you to step up and make performances. We can't carry you all the way. Of course, there were little lapses of miscommunication, but overall, I thought the job he's done to be an absolute rock in the back line. So many blocks, clearances, great things that he was doing defensively and offensively. I think again showing up for himself in the build-up, showing up for himself in key moments and long passes and things that I've wanted to see from our center backs for a long time. I think he was doing at more frequency than other defenders that we had, across the season. Right. So I think he's more than earned himself a place in this rotation to fight for a spot, to fight for first. And he's came out recently and said, hey, listen, I tell people just lock in and focus on the noise and fight for your place. If you want to be somewhere, you got to fight for your spot. And the mentality that he approaches the game with, I really enjoy. So I think we'd be a little bit stupid to sell him unless that fee was really, really good. I think this is great depth. I think this is somebody that can absolutely do a job. He's proven he can now. I can't say anything else but keep at this moment personally.
Kai Havertz.
Keep.
Thank you.
I'm only going. I'm going to try and keep this small because this one could go on all day. I'm going to say this. If you watch the back half of last season and you don't understand why Kai Havertz is even remotely valuable to Arsenal, you need to reevaluate how you watch football, in my opinion. One. Two. 1 + 1 equals 2. If you know, you know. 1 + 1 = 2. That's all I'm going to say. Lock in. Keep. Mikel Merino, keep. Oh my gosh, Mikel Fenomeno, man. Again, another guy that I think very synonymous with versatility, obviously, at this point in the Arsenal team. Again, stepped up as a number 9. Damn near didn't even play no games number 9 beforehand, and done a bang-up job. Honestly, one of the pure strikers of the ball we have at the club. I think top 3, personally. I think his technical level is really, really good when it comes to ball striking. I think it's a really secure profile. I think especially with the additions that we're looking to get, hopefully over the line when it's all official, I can speak on this definitively, but hopefully when those things are settled and done, we have a player that can step in the midfield and be a solid option again, and be potentially a solid option to forward line. Hopefully it doesn't have to ever come to that again, but still you see he has that attacking nous to be, in the box or be a 9 and stuff like that. I think people need to know the difference between a ceiling raiser and a floor raiser. Marino is an absolutely vital floor raiser for us, in my opinion. I think he's a great floor raiser, and he's part of the reason why we kept up at the levels that we did when everything was crashing around us in terms of injuries this past season. So no questions.
Good. We'll come to this man. Odegaard, Martin Odegaard.
Martin, that's a keep, man. That's a keep. Listen, Odegaard. You've had a shit season, brother. And it wasn't even like that crazy bad. Like there was bad moments. Let me not sugarcoat this. There were some bad moments. There was a fair handful of bad moments. But I still think there is a lot for him to do and give. And the overarching theme with me and him would be give Martin less responsibility. I do not mean strip the captaincy from him, because people want to talk about that stuff. I don't dash that conversation away, bro. We don't need that. I'm talking about make him less important in all phases. And I mean specifically in the first and second. So many times he has had to, again, this is not a cop-out, but this is actually speaking to how important he is on the pitch. He is so involved in the build-up, picking the ball up from the goalkeeper and stuff in the first phase, driving the ball through, going all the way up, trying to ping passes and thread passes through and stuff. He's doing so much of the first 2 phases that by the time he gets to the third, it feels like he's just anonymous. Honestly, there's so much. He's a blunt instrument in the final third at this point. You know what I'm saying? And we saw him finally get back to some striking form towards the end of the season. Like, again, the second tie against PSG and then a couple other things. But there is an insistence I have in my mind to give him less responsibility in the build-up. Let him be more of a floating midfielder around that final third. Let him pick up the ball in dangerous areas there without the burden of running himself ragged in the buildup, on top of him leading the press, on top of him being a creative outlet. Let's whittle down his responsibility so he can become more potent. This season, for me and for many people, I think they'll say it's sink or swim for Martin Odegaard in terms of, okay, cool, we're likely going to have some reinforcements that do just that. But now it's time for you to show up and prove how you do that. And I think, fingers crossed, they do the right business. I don't know what business is out there. I'm on vacation, but they do the right business that enables people to have, enables him to have more physically capable runners around him, and enables him to have less responsibility in build-up so he can be the most potent, sharp, attacking version of himself and get back to the ozone type player that we know. Absolute keep, but he's got a point to prove next season, and I think he definitely can prove that.
Decking rice.
Boy, if you don't put that in keep, hey, as a matter of fact, can you put that in like the first section of keep? Can you move Carl Hein out the way and just like put him there? Thank you. Okay. That's the first keep player of the season. Bro. They had the nerve to compare this guy to Caicedo, bro. They had the nerve, the gall, the temerity, the unmitigated, oh my God, the audacity to compare that guy to Caicedo. Say, oh, Caicedo, but absolute joke of a footballer. He is my favorite midfielder in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of the best midfielders in the world right now, if not the best. Again, you got a floating thing between Vitinha, João Neves, Pedri, and him. Those are the four. Those are the 4 names I'm putting out there for the top 4 midfielders in the world at this very moment in time. You
Okay.
you can speak to that for real, for real. He is that
Mm,
damn good. And
mm,
the fact that he's damn near equaled, if not surpassed, his entire goal tally at
mm,
at West Ham to now.
mm,
I think that only goes to show that his adaptability and how he expands. He can be and has been an all-purpose player. And
mm,
and again, I love to say this about him. He's a consistent persistence across all thirds of the pitch.
mm,
If you need that shield in terms of the back line, he's such a physical and intelligent threat, reading play, being again a very, very solid physical body and physical presence,
mm,
midfield, driving,
mm,
the energizer bunny, just doing what he needs to do in terms of bombing runs, carrying the ball, chasing down people, stopping transitions in that middle part of the pitch. And in the final third, he's shown what he can do. Those 2 free kicks in Madrid. Mwah, woo!
mm,
The technical level to strike that ball is
mm,
fantastic. And I think we're only going to see more of that when we
mm,
get to next season.
mm,
There is no brainer. If you at home did not say keep on Declan Rice,
mm.
hey man, do not eat rice for the rest of your life. I banish you. I banish you from eating rice. I banish you because that common sense decision
Mm,
was lost on you. No more
mm,
rice.
mm. Uh, last 4 players. We'll
Mhm.
wrap it up soon because I think I've taken too much time of yours.
Nah,
Saka.
you're good, man. You're good. Hey, and put him right next to Declan Rice, please. Put him right there. As a matter of fact, put him one in front, please, because you know what I'm saying. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's beautiful right there. That's perfect. That's just
Mm,
wonderful right there. On half a hamstring, he given Real Madrid the Bernabeu hell, chipping
mm,
keepers like it's nobody's business, bro.
mm,
I don't. Again, he hasn't had the best season, obviously because of the injury.
mm,
But if you do not understand that this boy is world class at this point,
mm,
you are already several years late. You're
mm.
already years behind the 8 ball. It's not too late to catch up. We got jackets. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
catch up. I
Mm.
think he's gonna have a great season. He was on track to do it.
Yeah.
He was on
He
track
does
to
have
do it.
assists.
20 assists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like again,
Yeah.
he was on track to do that. And if he comes out the gate firing and we do the proper business that we're supposed to, I think
Mm,
he's gonna have a crazy season. I think he's gonna have a scary season that shuts people up.
mm, mm. David Raya.
Keep, keep, keep,
I put him there. Yeah.
keep
Mm,
keep my keeper, bro. This
mm,
guy, again, if he was like 4 inches taller, he'd be the greatest goalkeeper of all time. But alas,
yeah. Mm,
we'll live with that. But
mm,
his level of just absolute assurance and
mm,
so much like confidence, so many moments that he's bred.
mm, mm,
Um, Inspiring to me. I think
mm.
after was was it the Brentford game that he had like it was shaky like when he first came
Yeah.
in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brentford game.
After that
Brentford.
point,
No, wait, not the Brentford game because
Brentford game
uh
or something else.
he came from Brentford, so he couldn't
Yeah, he
play the
came from
Brentford
Brentford, but
game.
it was a certain game that he did terribly in. I
Uh,
can't remember.
I think it was a Tottenham game.
It might have. I can't remember
Mm,
off the top of my head, but I know there was some
mm,
game he didn't perform well in his first when he was like around his first few
mm.
games,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
after that he just something clicked, and he was like,
Mm,
"Oh damn, I got to show up and prove, and show
mm,
up and
mm,
really know show you who I am,"
mm,
and I think again, back to back Golden Glove winner. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm, mm.
so many great moments. We've actually seen a keeper that can save penalties semi consistently. Even though he does
Oh,
that wild ass jump thing, he saved several penalties. So say
yeah.
what you want about it. It will,
Mm,
we'll work on the other stuff later.
mm,
Some
mm,
incredible saves, and again, just the level of danger that he provides from a distribution standpoint. He damn near acts as another center back, his
mm,
passing, his throwing,
mm,
so much things that
mm,
he controls in terms of the tangible of what he can
mm,
actually command in the box, his box
mm,
presence, and the
mm,
intangible, the tempo, how we break out, what things we can do in terms of change the flow of the game.
mm,
He's so good at what he does. It's
mm.
just sometimes the height and him getting chipped gets him out. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
I wish you could just chill out because they're gonna chip you. They're gonna try and do it often, man. Like relax.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
he's an absolute world-class keeper. And the only thing is getting this a nice little backup for him and
mm,
maybe get some points of rest across next season. So we'll see what happens with
mhm.
that. But absolute keep, no question.
At the point of recording, I don't know if people can see it, but yeah, at the point of recording, June 7th at 8:30 PM PST, Thomas Partey is still an Arsenal player. Would you keep him or sell him? If you ask me, I'll make it easy. If you ask me, I'm selling him. I wanted him sold 2 years back itself. Not now. I want him
I,
sold 2 years back itself.
I'm just laughing because I already know some people out there. They have their stances,
Hmm.
and I damn well got mine too, baby. Get this guy out of here.
Good.
Excuse
Good.
me.
I'm
Let,
not
let
going
me
to ask.
let me let me just say this really briefly. All right, man.
Hmm.
It's time. It's time. It's time.
Hmm.
Oh, Yeller. Time to
Hmm.
get it out back, bro. Liabilities outweigh assets. I don't want anybody to come see me. A man who has just had his first fully fit season and damn near his fifth season, like 2 seasons out of 5, he was fully fit.
Hmm.
And even the first season, he had some like a couple things here and there. The first season he was fully fit was a contract year.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and even then, they still had moments where his fitness levels, even though he had a fit season this last season, I cannot trust it. I still cannot trust it because if something happens and he pulls a hamstring, he's gone, and that's a 6-piece that we do not have this adequate depth for. I cannot trust that.
Hmm.
Defensive inadequacies. I cannot take the level of like the holes and the lack of tracking back and the lack of proper positioning that's cost us points, that's cost us positions, that's cost us games in so many crucial moments.
Hmm.
Him consistently, and I'm not singling him out for every single mistake, but he's made a significant number of those mistakes across a season. Chelsea, again, the Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Neto goal that made it 2-2.
Yeah.
PSG second leg, again, that just killed the tie off after Hakimi got a right past him and he didn't even see it. Giveaway, he's just jogged back, already gone and past it. How many transitions we're seeing him again jog back in slow motion like it's Baywatch after the attack is just speeding off in the distance. It is high time that we moved on from Thomas Partey. The liabilities outweigh the assets. On his day, he can be the best midfielder in the world. He can be the best 6 in the world by a country mile. But how many times have we seen that across his tenure at Arsenal? And that's enough. That's enough incentive for me to say that is too crucial of a position to keep banking on that investment anymore. Let's move on because we got so. Let me not talk about transfers. I'm on vacation. Sell him.
Our last Halen Academy boy who's still doing well, but I think it's, in my opinion, time to go. Reece Nelson.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's time to sell. One of my, it'll be sad. It'll be sad because he was doing well at Fulham as well. I think I think he might end up somewhere in the Prem. I think if we have a chance to. Unfortunately, he's injured at the moment, but a player that was Bukayo Saka before Bukayo Saka was Bukayo Saka. You know what I'm saying? Like that level of academy prospect and hype, and it's tough. Again, it's one of those players that I hate. We need to just look at just the retrospective of so many players that had that potential at Arsenal that were just killed by injuries. We have so many. It's an absolute graveyard for us, and it sucks, but I'm happy that we're hopefully going to be able to get him to a stable point and then get him to a club where he can get some playing time and he can get some shine like we got like we did for Emil Smith Rowe. Like we saw in market opportunity to get Iwobi to somewhere else and let him cook. I will say it's time to go for Reece Nelson, but I'll never forget the memories. Again, one of my favorite clips of all time, him versus Bournemouth, that winner. That will hold a lot of love in my heart for a long time, just for, again, me reacting to it, me seeing it as a fan, all that kind of stuff. Like that will live in memory for me for a good while. Again, just like the Welbeck at Christmas Gold, will live in my memory for a long time. Like just those great moments that just you feel pure bliss. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that he had his chance to represent Arsenal at that capacity.
Yeah. Well, 30 players. In those 30, we've removed 11. In those 11, we've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 proper starters. I'm not including Neto. I'm not including Sterling. I'm not including Reece, right? So you could say effectively in 23 or to 25 players, we've removed 4 starters.
Plenty of room.
Yep.
Plenty of room.
Arsenal, do your thing. I know Tripp is on vacation, but I hope the board is not on vacation yet. You can go on your long vacation once we get the signings.
I'm on vacation. I'm on
Yeah.
vacation.
Hmm.
Andrea Berta, Tim Lewis, Mikel Arteta, all of y'all are not
Hmm.
on vacation. I don't
Hmm.
listen, bro. Eat y'all steak and paella and do whatever y'all got to do and get back to it. Y'all
Hmm.
got it. What preseason starting like 48 days. Y'all
Yeah.
got 48 days to
Hmm.
lock in and get what y'all supposed to do
Hmm.
over the line.
Hmm.
Do something.
Hmm. Yep. That's what we're going to say. I'm not going to say much. I think that's a great end to it. Thank you so much, Trip, for spending a lot of time. We've hit almost 60 minutes of this recording. Yeah, we've had a great time. This is the
Funny.
Keeper Cell Arsenal edition. Again, if you loved his energy, do check out his socials, all of them in the description. Do support him. He puts out great content, really, really funny ones, especially when Arsenal win or lose. You know what, just check out his Twitter and check out his TikTok. So yeah, that's it from us. We'll see you soon. Till then, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're in the world. Bye bye. Good night. Peace.